Darkcast Network. Welcome to the dark side of podcasting.
Welcome to Castles and Cryptids, where the castles are haunted and the cryptids are cryptic as fuck. And I'm your host, Alanna.
And I'm Kelsey, and this is Gordo, all up in my business. Hi.
Literally. We were like, no, he's not here, but he will be for the intro. But that's okay.
Aww.
You can't hear his cuteness.
He's purring.
Is he? I may have had a dream about trying to find my dog or a pet last night. It's like one of those, like, where you're trying to get to something in the dream. Usually to me, it's to work or to the toilet or something, but my legs just won't move very fast.
Yeah, the dream running, that Spider-Man gif. You're like, yes! That's how everybody runs in their dreams.
Your legs are molasses. I feel like I'm always like, what if I could just like grab this tree or something, then I can just pull myself along?
That'd be faster than running, right?
But at least I don't sleepwalk, because, you know, then you just do crazy thing when your brain doesn't shut off your muscles when you're dreaming.
Yeah.
I told you need to watch that Selena Spooky Boo. She doesn't do as many sleepwalking videos, but that was kind of what got her famous on like the TikToks and the Instagrams and whatnot. And then they're just like it's just like the night vision in the house, and then it's just like she'll like get up and say something crazy like, move! Get the crackers! It's like you're like, sleepwalking is crazy.
Yeah, that sounds creepy.
Right? Sleepwalking? Would you rather sleep sexing or sleep eating? Also a thing.
Yeah.
And this week we're talking about somnambulousness. No. Just kidding. I just informed Kelsey of the audacious audio issues that we had. I didn't making the other episode. Neither did I until it got released that there was an issue, because I had edited it all and it had sounded fine, but you know, I don't always do like a triple check before posting the audio, and then before I knew it, it was like talking to my brother, and he was like, yeah, but there was no Kelsey segment or something. And I was like, wait, what? So it's just like me Alanna reacting to like nobody talking about Pussy Riot for an hour. And I don't know how to take them down with this new hosting service. It doesn't just let you like unpublish it. I couldn't find a way. Okay. It's just there.
I can take a look at it.
You can try.
I can look at it, see. Yeah,
I'm horrible.
Because I was wondering why it was still up. I was like, can we not delete this? Because I deleted the YouTube one. I like replaced it.
No.
Damn. We have to be able to delete it. That's garbage. Come on, Zencaster.
With
trying to figure
Spotify for podcasters, you could like kind of sort of edit it, I think, after the fact, and then go like, publish or whatever. I don't know, but with this one I was like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wasn't trying to hide it from Kelsey. It was just she was busy with birthdays and stuff on the weekend when I
and then I didn't check into anything, and then I found out really late last night, and I was like, oh, this was fixed like 6 days ago. I didn't know it was a problem. I didn't know it was been fixed. I should update the YouTube video and the website.
I'm sorry, I've been incommunicado. It's been harder because then I didn't have a phone, because that was part of the other issues that we were talking about. Poor Kelsey's car issues last week, and that things were melting up and blowing down, or vice versa. my phone like decided it had overheated one too many times because the back part was pulling away for the longest time, but I couldn't really upgrade it or afford to or whatever. And then it just like, we had that heat wave, right? And then in my car a couple weeks ago,
record-breaking heat wave.
Yeah, I've left it in my console and my air conditioning wasn't so great and shit, so it just like decided it would not charge again. And then I had so many issues just trying to like use an old phone with my SIM card and all this other bullshit that did not work. So now, as of this recording time, I have a phone downstairs that is successfully texted Pat, and I think I have a new phone, knock on wood.
Yeah.
My God. Thanks to Pat too, because we had to like outright go like buy an old one, which is such bullshit. But anyway.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like the phone companies just make it the most difficult it could be. I know when I was upgrading my phone, I went in, they're like, yeah, if you just buy a phone from a third party and bring it in, we'll set it up for you. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I brought in my phone that I had just bought at Best Buy. And I was like, sure, you can set this up for me? And they're like, no, who would ever tell you we could do that? And I was like, two of
just
your
buy
employees?
A phone outright, meaning like spend
yesterday.
$1,000 on a brand new one. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah, God forbid I try to use Pat's old phone that was in perfectly good condition. But, you know, at the time we'd got it was through a different carrier or whatever. So they like can lock it, you know, purportedly in case of, you know, theft, that someone tries to use an old SIM in your old phone. It's like, motherfucker, it's my people in my house trying to use my old phone.
Yeah.
Like, fuck off. I know. There was like sites that were like, we can unlock a phone for any carrier, and none of that worked either. It was so frustrating. So anyway.
Yeah. They just want people to upgrade, get a new phone, spend more money.
Yeah.
Kill the planet.
Oh my God. Buy more. Fast fashion. Yeah.
Okay, buddy. You're gonna roll right off the table. You're gonna table there.
Yeah, a little cinnamon roll. Oh. Anyway, by the time this comes out, it will be August. I will be technically on vacation and hopefully just living the life, not having to go to work for a few days and hanging out with my family on the East Coast. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
We don't get out much, as you can tell, because that's all I ever have to talk about is what's broken.
Same.
But, right? Oh my God. I was even supposed to go to like a barbecue thing last weekend, and then the smoke was so bad from like the wildfires and stuff, and then I was so stressed from having to re-edit the episode and everything that I just pieced out or whatever, and I was like, I'm a dick. But like, it's been super smoky here because wildfires and shit too, so it's been like, bleh.
Yeah.
But, you know, half of Jasper just caught on fire, so that's cool.
Right? One of our biggest, like, tourism things in Alberta here. And
it's a nice little mountain town, yeah.
Gone.
I don't want people's businesses and homes to burn down, and the Rock and Gem shop, and all these other places.
Yeah, it's one of the nicest places in Alberta.
And it's something inevitably catches on fire. Like from California up the Pacific coast into BC, or here in Alberta. I mean, we have some dry areas, so yeah, it's been kind of shitty.
Gordo is so cute right now. Here, I'm gonna tilt this down. Look at him.
Are you laying on the table?
He's like, pay attention. He was upside down. He was like, this is my belly. And I was like, you're gonna bite me if I pet you.
I thought of Gordo a little bit. I was looking, there were some big cats that came up when I was doing some research for our upcoming animals, crimes, capers sort of episode for our Patreon.
Yeah.
And I was like, look at this house cat and look at this big cat. They're just the same. You'll see. I'm gonna video.
Gordo's a big house cat.
Yes, but the big cats are sometimes just like them. It's so cute.
Oh yeah, they meow and that kind of stuff. Like, is it
Ooh,
freaking
yes.
like cheetahs and stuff meow? They're like
I heard
It's so cool.
I think it was like a cougar
scream
scream sort of thing the other day where they were like, "Does this sound like an animal to you?" And like, it almost sounds like kind of like that row row, and you're like, "Ooh, is it a person or what?" Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, what are we here to talk about today? What day is it? What are we doing? Who knows?
Yeah, we thought it'd be cool to go back into some folklore. I guess it's been a little bit. I can't remember how long we figured out. At least a couple months, probably.
Yeah, definitely a few episodes since we've done some folklore. It's fun. And also it made for like a pretty nice one for me because I was like, I can look up some folklore stories. And then I also couldn't sign back into my Google account. And then I was like, where did my Word document go? I guess I'll look up those folklore stories again.
Aww.
No, it's good. But I'm excited. I don't even know what you're talking about. Or where, I guess.
I have two things. I think I told you I was kind of focusing on South Africa.
That's true, you did. Because I said I went to Nigeria.
Just so we knew we weren't kind of going to end up talking about any of the same kind of things. So I have a couple things to talk about.
I like that. And it's not like we were just like, Africa, it's one country. It's like, no.
No.
We like to feature like different countries sometimes. So this time I like that we both featured a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first thing I have to talk about is called The Hole in the Wall.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
It's the
like
proverbial hole in the wall, that dive bar we all go to.
Maybe, yeah. This is actually part of the west coast of the Eastern Cape in South Africa, and there's like this giant cliff face that was there, and I guess over time a piece of it detached, so there's kind of like this beautiful archway, like really really tall and wide. And then they're in
Goro's
that like
looking
detached
at you.
archway. I know. He's like, "Why are you petting me? Your hands are moving. They could be petting me right now."
He was being a very attentive student. I really appreciated it. And that's why I had to explain why I'm laughing. Just so everyone knew.
So it's got like this archway and it has a little hole in the middle. So that's the hole in the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cute.
So it's a symbol of like different people in Africa. So there's the Hosha or Hosa. I think it's Hosa. They refer to the Escaline of like the formation as the place of thunder or place of the sound, because of the loud clap that the waves make against the hole.
Thunder. Feel the thunder. No.
Thunder.
That makes sense though. Totally.
Yeah, it's like crashing waves against it, and they believe that this is actually like a gateway to the world of their ancestors, which is really cool.
Also, side note, did you hear like we had a bunch of like storm winds and shit last night? I don't know about like so much thunder, but the rain and stuff.
I slept through it like a baby. I was so tired. I laid my head down, got comfortable, and snapping my fingers, I was waking up from my alarm. And I was like, damn it!
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Back to work.
That's how Pat says he sleeps all the time. I don't know. It's weird because with his PTSD, like you'd think he'd get night Mayor's night traumas, but instead he just doesn't dream at all. And I'm like, I feel like that happened to me once when I went to camp and I was so tuckered out that I just fell asleep so hard. But as a kid, I'd never, you know what I mean? Like, never having been like drunk or anything like that. That was like the purest sleep I ever remember getting. I just woke up the next morning. Like you said, you're just like, whoa, time passed. And like Pat will be like, yeah, that's how it's like for me, like every night. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Weird.
Maybe he has them. He just doesn't ever remember them.
That's what a lot of people say, right? That you don't remember half of them or whatever. Yeah.
Or it's, you remember it like in the first 10 seconds, and then if somebody asked you like a minute later, you would probably not remember most of your dream.
Yeah. The only, I could remember mine I was telling you earlier, because it's that recurring sort of, I'm late, I'm running to get something, or I'm late for work, or this time I think I was trying to find my dog or something. It was weird.
Yeah.
Just weird anxieties playing out when you're asleep. It's just so great.
Yeah. So there is pictures if you want to look this up. It is like a pretty beautiful rock formation.
Oh, okay. I probably can now that you gave me the password back to the drive.
Yeah, you can also Google it. It does come up when you Google the hole in the wall. It won't take you to like anything weird or
Toad in the Hole, the breakfast, whatever.
I don't think I've ever actually had that. Maybe my mom made it once.
So bread, just toast with egg in it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, just the egg in the middle. So it stands at the mouth of the Mpeko River, and the cliff consists of these dark blue shales, mudstones, and sandstones, and dates back about 260 million years.
Oh,
which it's extremely old. I didn't think it would be that old.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got it this time. And first it was just a Toronto bar. But
oh shit, I lied to you. Okay. Google it. Nothing else will come up. A Toronto bar. That's funny.
It was something. I was like, wait, what? My algorithm's just all, do you want bars? Alcohol? No. Jesus. Oh, man.
So there's many theories about what could have created the hole that's found in the rock. This near perfect opening at the bottom of it. Scientists believe that it resulted from the cliff's location, as well as exposure from the breaking waves over these like 260 million years.
Right.
And yeah, they believe that the cliff detached from the mainland through the same process. So I guess they're kind of saying like eventually that hole will get big enough that it'll separate, and then it'll be like two like pillars probably.
Sure, like water erosion. It takes a while, but
apparently 260 million years. I was like, just damn. That's like so long. It's insane.
Right.
So there is. Oh, I just have a little tidbit I found in one of the sources that said that it was named the Hole in the Wall in 1823 by a Captain Vidal, who was sent by the British to survey the coastline. So that's how it got the name the Hole in the Wall. But it does have like stories. There's a South African legend about what formed the hole in the wall. There's a few different versions. So I found one of the versions of the like South African legend. It was from thecollector.com. This was probably one of like the nicest write-ups about it.
Okay.
There's different kind of variations, but it says that the South African legend of the hole in the wall tells how it was once connected to the mainland, forming a lagoon that fed by the Mpako River and cut off from the ocean.
Okay.
The story is that there was a beautiful maiden who, unlike her people, loved the sea. and she would sit at the edge of the water and watch the waves rolling in. And one day, one of the sea people appeared out of the ocean. He had flipper-like hands and feet, and flowing hair like the waves. It's like, merman!
His hair is like Fabio!
Yeah. What is it? From, like, Old Spice?
Oh my god.
Look at your man, now back to me, back at your man, now back to me, I'm on a horse.
That dude was in Shadowhunters.
He was.
Those
smell like the man your man could be. It's
oh
like,
my god. Yeah.
2 tickets for the concert of the band you like. It's like, what?
It's as silly as the kids in the hall had a silly sketch about Fabio, and it was like, Fabio's eating peanuts. I wish he'd eat me. And those were the guys. And that's all I remember. Ressa will know. She'll get it.
That's hilarious.
It's also stupid. I
like
also listened to a bunch of
or Herbal Essences commercial hair.
God. Fuck. I also just have to mention I was listening to a bunch of Andy Samberg was on Smartless, and then like I guess I must have been the only like millennial on the planet that didn't know he had a bunch of like skit songs like with
Lonely Island. You didn't know?
No.
Like, oh, they're from like
I knew he was on SNL.
But... Yeah, most of them were like digital shorts from SNL. I think that's how it kind of started.
Guess I just don't watch a lot of that.
So you finally watched Dick in a Box?
I've heard of Dick in a Box.
I'm on a boat.
They were referencing other ones that I was like, what's Lazy Sunday? And then they were like, The Chronicles of Narnia. And I was like, what is this? I have no idea. But Will Arnett was like, there was before Lazy Sunday and like after. Like, how was that? You got all crazy big. And I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe I'm so out of touch, you know, but I feel enlightened now.
Yeah. Gordo, what the fuck are you doing right now?
I don't know, but you're giving it quite the look. You're like,
he's
how?
Like, he looks like he was trying to curl up, but now he's pushing himself away from the wall, but he's also like squishing himself down. And it looked like he I don't know. He looked really
weird.
Anyway, so this merman dude comes out of the ocean. The creature said that he had watched her from some time and admired her. He asked her to be his wife. The maiden went home and told her father what had happened, but he was furious and said that his people would not trade their daughters with the sea people, and forbade her from going back to the lagoon ever again.
Damn, okay.
That night, however,
and the lagoon people?
No. The sea people live in... Oh, no, she watches them from the lagoon. That's what it is.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is very classist. Part of your world.
That night, however, she slipped away to meet her lover. Was he, though? They barely said hello. Sorry, it was like, she met him once.
Her celebrity crush.
Yeah. He met with her and told her that she must wait until high tide and he would prove his love to her before he retreated back into the sea. The girl waited and a number of sea people appeared bearing a large fish. Fish. Yes, you heard that. Which they used to batter a hole in the cliff face, thus connecting the lagoon to the sea.
It was a battering cod.
Or like a fucking whale. I don't know what they use. Yeah.
Oh my god. Whale,
in almost every story they use a fish to make the hole. I will say that. In almost every variation.
Okay.
It's great. Thus connecting the lagoon to the sea. As the tide came in, a huge wave smacked against the hole, creating a massive fountain of spray. Riding the crest of the wave was her lover. She leapt into his arms and was whisked away.
Aquaman!
Yeah. Fucking Jason Momoa!
Or the Silver Surfer. Because he's on a wave. I don't know.
Yeah, so that's the legend. There's like different variations, including ones where what is it? Like she makes the hole, or they kind of go back and forth for longer. Or they're trying, or she gets trapped in the lagoon and they kind of are trying to break her out because her family's like holding her there.
I do see, now that I think I've actually got the right picture there, how it does look like a big long piece of cliff rock, like kind of barrier between the sea and the lagoon or the bay or whatever. Yeah, it's just like, oh.
Yeah, so it's like separated now.
Yeah.
Little tiny hole. Made by a fish. It's a tiny hole.
Yeah. Nice. That's so cool.
So according to the Hosha people, the sound of the waves crashing against the hole in the wall is the sound of the sea people calling out for a bride. So I guess they're still looking for brides. More like, I almost said seamen. More mermen looking for brides.
That's what she said on the that's what she said on Sinisterhood the other day when they were talking about the Kraken who's taken down. I think they said dozens of seamen, and I said, you should have said mouthfuls of seamen. The Kraken stories, though. Oh my god. So fun. They're in Newfoundland. Somebody apparently like had a tentacle. Like whether it's from a giant squid or whatever, because we know that those did exist, but like, yeah, someone like had it like hanging up in their like bathroom or whatever for a while. They're like, look at here. I think maybe just to take the picture, like of the hanging over the shower curtain. They're like fucking long tentacles, man. Anyway, I digress.
Creepy.
Right? Oh man.
All right, so it is said that during certain seasons and weather conditions, the waves can hit against the rocks in such a way that the sound can be heard throughout the valley and surrounding areas.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And it also says that certain times of the year, the music and singing of the sea people can be heard, probably coming from that same area, which is
I like
cool.
that. And it's like, it makes sense for, especially because of all the ways that wind makes sound on like sea cliff caves and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the hole in the wall.
Okay. I like that a lot.
And then, yeah, that was kind of cool. There's I don't know, like a creature, cryptid kind of thing I ended up looking up too. It was really interesting. I don't remember ever running across it before.
There's so many we just don't know to look for or search about. Yeah.
So this one's called the Grootslang. If you want to look it up. Groot.
Interestingly, that sounds vaguely familiar. Sorry. Like Groot as in I am Groot.
Yeah. And then slang, like
slang
I don't
word.
know. Yeah, I was gonna say terminology. I don't know.
Exactly. Okay, they're tentacly.
It's wild looking. It kind of reminds me of the the Snallygaster that's like the flying like octopusy thing. This has kind of got that same vibe.
Yeah, because multiple like tusky things coming out of their fangs. Like a mole.
So the Grootslang, or big snake, kind of in English, it's a creature of Zulu mythology in South Africa. It's this enormous serpent. and its name translates to Great Snake in Afrikaans. Legends
I am
of the
Great Snake.
creature.
Sorry.
Legends of the creature are passed down through many generations, so it's really old in like its legends and history and even encounters that people have said that they've had.
Damn, ancient. Okay.
Yeah, its image has even been seen in cave paintings that they've discovered.
Ooh.
Yeah, like that's intense.
I know, they
like,
didn't paint about a ton of shit. It was too
right?
hard. They're like painting above their heads sometimes. They're like, no.
Yeah. It has
Mhm.
long history of sighting and encounters. There's a really cool site I found. This guy, he has like little podcast videos as well. It's mythlock.com. Like myth and then LOK.com, and he had some
Ooh.
cool information about it. It was like one of those like cryptid Wikipedia pages, but it had a lot
Fandom and
more
monsters,
deep.
yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of really cool information that I looked really well researched and I didn't really find anywhere else. So
Nice.
yeah.
When they were talking about on Sinisterhood the Kraken, they were like, and we're not ashamed to say when we went to the library, some of the books were in the kids section. The one girl who doesn't have kids, she's like, I need it for research, and the librarian didn't bat an eye, and I'm like, I love that for you. I need this book on Krakens, please. It's
You check
awesome,
out what
right?
are you reading about? 12 books about Krakens.
Oh, and the one that has like the 4-year-old who's like already so into cryptids, she got her daughter Ella to like say, well, what do you like about the Kraken book? And then she was talking about it. It was so cute.
Aw.
I know, I was like, I should have started mine that young. No, my kid's cool though. Anyway.
So from their website, it said that it's known by many names across Africa. So it does have, like, depending on what country you're in, it does have
Oh yeah.
kind of different things it refers to, but they're all share pretty similar characteristics. In the Congo, it's referred to as Nikanyamba, while the Bushmen in their tradition refer to it as, I'm going to say, Geora.
Ooh. Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. Among the Zulu people, it is recognized as I Groot.
Oh
Not
my
I am Groot,
god.
but I Groot. Right?
Oh my god. It's just missing the M.
Or maybe it's E Groot. I'm not too sure. Some of these I couldn't look up. Didn't come up with any pronunciation because it's like,
Or maybe it's we are Groot.
yeah. There's also in Slavana that
Ooh.
emphasizes its hybrid essence, embodying the fusion of an elephant, which is Indlovu, and snake, which is Inja.
Okay.
Yeah, because it does have
Cool.
like the head of an elephant and then the body of a snake. So if you picture
Oh
that,
my god. How do
it's
you
pretty
hold your head up? You're a lollipop, as they used to call those really skinny actresses during like
right.
the Friends era.
You're
Yeah.
very top heavy with the tusks and the trunk and the big ears
Jesus.
and then
Yeah.
just little snaky body. I kind of think of it,
Snicky snack.
some stuff, I don't know, it doesn't really talk about too much about limbs, but I don't know, in my head I
Mhm.
kind of picture more of like a dragon type thing. Um
Okay. It's
yeah.
gotta be interesting. I don't know if there's any artist
Sort of.
renderings of that, but I would love to see them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of pictures online if you Google it, actually. So there's some more names that they had on the website. There's various Afrikaans and Zulu names that contribute to the multitude of ways of the Grootslang is identified, as well as like
Oh.
Grootslang, Grootslang, like separated. And then there's
different
Groot.
hoods, got different dialects.
Right? Groot Azel, which I think is like eel, because it's kind of like one. The next one's like Groot Python. There's Groot Snek, SNEK, and then Groot Elephant.
Like looking like a snack. Or how everybody smells.
Sneak a snack.
Yeah. It's like the Gen Z slang for snake or whatever. I don't know.
There's Groot Elephant, Grootslang, and then in Zulu it also carries names like Nikosi Malilo, translating to God loves you.
Aww.
And Negambi Nikosi, signifying God has created you. Because there is like stuff in its mythology, which we'll get into, of why those names kind of make sense.
Okay.
For
cool.
like Zulu, yeah. So the Grootslang is known for its speed, strength, and durability. It's said that even gods themselves deemed them beyond their control after they created the Grootslang. So that's why, like, God loves you.
Shit. God loves you, but he can't control you?
Yeah. In an effort to contain or limit its power, they cleave the Grootslang into two separate entities. The gods do. One that evolves into an elephant, and the other that evolves into a python.
Okay. One grows legs and gigantic.
Yeah, they're kind of like, we created this animal to begin with, and it was too powerful, so now we separate it, and that's how we got elephants and pythons.
Weird. I love it.
Yeah. There are tales of Grootslang who managed to avoid the divine partition, they called it, and were able to breed with other creatures to create these hybrid beings. Maybe there's a liger. Maybe there's a lion tiger.
Yes. The divine partition, too.
Yeah, like what? The divine partition.
I might like that even more than that, what was it, mental machinery phrase from the Watsika Wonder.
Most often, the Grootslang are said to be a fusion of an elephant's head and a trunk and a serpent's body and tail. Typically, they're described as reaching lengths of up to 60 feet, or about 18 meters, and then about 3 feet, or almost a meter. It says 0.91 meters wide, like its trail it kind of leaves behind.
What?
Yeah, so like they're very big.
0.91. Okay.
Yeah, it's like almost a meter wide.
For a minute, I was like, wait.
Yeah, or like 3 feet. Like, so they're big. It's like a tree.
Right. Yeah, or like there's that one snake that's like a sidewinder. Makes a little weird sideways path. I don't know how much space, but yeah. It's got a cool name. REM has a song that says, "The sidewinder sleeps in the dark."
So they are covered in these scales. Normally they're green, brown, or black, and they can change color, I guess, to reflect the creature's mood or even their surroundings. So, like, kind of like a chameleon. It's cool.
Nice. Wish I could do that.
Some of them say that there's these diamonds, like actual diamonds, that cover their eyes, or like eye sockets or horns on the like elephant head part. Yeah. Yeah, like covered in diamonds.
They're diamond encrusted. Okay.
Yeah. They may vary a bit in appearance, but their size is normally pretty typical and said to be greater than any known snake. Its scales are described as impenetrable and can act as a shield against any sort of attack.
Oh no.
Other descriptions follow kind of more traditional serpent descriptions with large luminescent eyes and a huge forked tongue that drips with venom, because I guess they're also venomous. So like a venomous elephant snake thing.
Watch out for Venom.
Yeah.
It's got that whole Marvel movie. Also, that Eminem song slaps.
Venom.
Right? I kept thinking of it whenever I was talking about whenever the name came up in my possession case, because her name was Lorancy Venom.
I thought about that after when I was like Googling it. I was like, oh yeah, Venom.
Venom, you never know what hit him. No, I can't rap. But oh my god! Speaking of rappers, did you know that Snoop Dogg is going to be part of the Olympics? Like, he had already been with Kevin Hart, and they'd been reacting to some like Olympic event with the horses, the dressage or whatever. But I guess he's going to be like in the Olympics that are starting like tonight.
Yeah, they already did the ceremony. People were talking about it online. There was like some craziness.
I want to watch that.
I feel like I need to watch the opening ceremony because the descriptions are wild online. Apparently they have some sort of like queer polyamorous three-way involved somehow. They have beheaded queens.
C'est quoi?
Yeah, they're like, they literally put a menage a trois in their opening ceremony. They have
the backlash that we got when Justin Timberlake exposed Janet Jackson's breast, and now we're getting no, I just knew that. I think the opening ceremonies were like tonight, so I was like, oh, I should try and catch some of them. But then we were going to try and record, so I was like, I'll try to catch some highlights later.
Yeah. They had, what else did I hear about? Oh, there's some person, they haven't revealed their gender. They're calling it, what did they say? The individual. I think they're being.
When were you reading this?
It's just on like the internet, like Tumblr.
No, but like today, just today.
Anytime? Yeah.
Okay, earlier.
Earlier, before we start recording. And
I'm like, she was looking at her phone during the break. No.
No, they were doing a bunch of parkour, because France is, and like Paris and stuff is well known for parkour. So somebody with the Olympic torch was doing parkour like through Paris, which was really cool. Yeah.
I can just picture The Office and Michael Scott.
Yeah, parkour.
As they just like flop themselves onto a
that would have been great
couch.
Too. That would have been great too. But I feel like out of any Olympic opening ceremony, I was like, I feel like I need to watch this one, because some of the pictures I saw online looked wild, and they're like, wow, what the fuck's happening in Paris right now?
I'm gonna check out the highlights at least.
Yeah, it looked crazy. All right, I don't have too much more about them. All right. Powers and stuff they had. So they say that its speed is greater than humans and animals on land. And I think I said this before, it's known to be swift and agile, despite its enormous size. Very resilient, apparently able to withstand bullets, fire, explosions, and extreme temperatures without any sort of harm.
Oh god, it's like the Tremors ones all over again, right? Twister! No, that's not the same. Never mind.
No.
Cut that. I'm an idiot.
They also have super senses. They can navigate in darkness and see through walls using the luminescence from their diamond eyes.
Oh my god. Lucy in the sky with diamond eyes.
Right? Yeah. Lucy in the sky with diamond eyes.
I also love the Paul Simon diamonds on the soles of her shoes. That's also a very good one.
Oh, I've never heard that.
It's cute.
So Grootslang are said to be very intelligent with an innate ability to learn new skills and adapt to situations quickly. They are also said to possess magic, allowing them to manipulate the elements and summon storms at will.
Storm witches! Damn! I'm like obsessed with that idea. It sounds so cool. Storm witches.
They can also weave illusions with their voices, because apparently, oh yeah, they do talk, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, they can weave illusions with their voices to confuse those who encounter them. So that's why maybe we don't have a ton of sightings or like reliable sightings of them.
Oh, the creepy things, the amount of like folklore creatures and stuff that can mimic people that you know.
Oh,
Those
yeah,
are
that's always
so
creepy.
scary. Yeah. Because, like, you're out in the woods, and then I hear, like, your voice being like, Alanna, help me! And I'm like, okay! And I get eaten. It's just like, no! Yeah. It's no good.
So, Grootslang, they're said to live in these large caverns.
Okay.
Mostly called the Wonder Hole.
You're my wonder hole. It's my favorite song.
Or bottomless pit. Apparently there's a cavern in South Africa called Wonder Hole or bottomless pit. So that's specifically where they're said to live. It's located in, I think this is Richtersveld, which is said to be connected to the sea about 64 kilometers or 40 miles away. So, like, underground, it connects to the sea. So they say that's, like, where they live. They go in and out of the sea, like, through this cavern, I guess. They're said to be reclusive and rarely seen outside. Some legends state that they love these precious gems and guard hordes of jewels and other treasure within their caves, which kind of reminded me of dragons as well.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, hoarding their treasure. They're dragons or nifflers. Or is that the one in Harry Potter that goes after the gold coins? The little badgers, I think.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember.
Magpies, crows. There's a bunch of creatures that actually are attracted to like shiny things. Yeah. Oh, too funny.
It is said that people captured by the Grootslang can bargain for their life in exchange for gems. So, should carry some gems with you, I guess.
Shit.
And
okay.
Some versions state that there are actually male and female Grootslang, and that their offspring, called Klein Grootslangs or small great snakes, are smaller replicas of their parents while still being just as deadly. So even though they don't like grow up as big, they're still considered just as deadly.
Okay. Small big snakes. That's like when my GPS tells me to go.
Call it up.
Yeah, on Gretzky north southwest, because it's like, you know, it'll be saying like the street direction, and then you're like, that's not a direction.
Yeah. Just shoot yourself into the sky towards the sun.
Take a slight right to stay on. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
There is a little bit more from mythlock.com. I didn't know how else to like reword any of this because it was about their like reproduction. It was just I don't know.
You're doing so much fun, like not like jazz hands. It's almost like raining down.
Yeah, I didn't know how else to word this. It was like I don't know. It might be confusing. So try and figure it out. So it said in contrast to conventional familial structures, the Grootslang adheres to an unconventional method of procreation. The creature eschews conventional mating rituals and sexual reproduction. Instead, it employs a unique mechanism wherein it splits itself into two components, one transforming into an elephant calf or python hatchling, while the other remains in the parental role. These parent Grootslangs nurture their offspring with either milk or venom contingent on their respective species. The progeny, thus nourished, matures into independent entities capable of either leading solitary lives or integrating into communities of other Grootslangs. this unconventional reproductive process adds a distinctive and enigmatic dimension to the myth of the Grootslang. So
Yeah,
I couldn't ever figure out if it meant that, like, so one of them splits into two and then they become, like, those two that it splits into are the babies, or that, like,
yeah, like a single-celled organism or a zygote or whatever splitting into
so like you have the two parents, one of them splits into the babies and then, like, becomes the babies, and now there's just a single parent. I don't know. That's a little confusing for me. Trying to figure out. So I was like, I'm just gonna copy this and source it and not attempt to reword it because I don't understand.
But I don't know what you can source it against when you're trying to get good cryptid research.
I guess I could have looked up like what their sources were, but that was from mythlock.com, and that was the only place that talked about their reproductive systems. So I could not verify.
Interesting though.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of different. Like, it just like splits in two, and then the other one becomes a parent. I love that. Just be like, okay, I'm just gonna become a useless baby now. You're gonna take care of me. Goodbye.
Is that mitosis or metamorphosis? Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember. It's been a long time since biology. But yeah. So that's all I got. That's the hole in the wall and the Grootslang that lives in a cave in the dirt. I don't know.
I definitely remember hearing that name before, the Grootslang. It sounds familiar to me, definitely. But
when I saw a picture, I was like, this looks familiar. But when I was looking it up, I was like, I don't really remember much about this. But the picture, it seemed like I had seen it before. So
I still don't think it's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know if I'll retain any of it. What does it look like? A snake? Okay, I gotta look at a picture. I'm very visual. I still haven't been able to sign back into our
Just Google it. You don't need to go on the drive. Just Google Grootslang. There's some great
Kelsey?
pictures.
You gave me the password and I could sign in on my stupid tablet. I don't understand. I'm having such a hard time signing into things on my stupid laptop. Anyway.
But when you Google it, the pictures people have done are really well done. There's some really cool ones.
No, I actually think I did Google it. I have Grootslang open up here because that's how he looks like a weirdly skinny / snaky elephant head dude. It's very hard to process, but interesting.
Yeah, it's just like a lion tiger.
It's just like a snake had sex with a tentacled elephant. Yep. All right. Well, we had some issues with the first recording stopping, but I think we're ready. This is where our typical break would fall in, maybe.
Yeah. So you guys can take a break, but we won't, maybe.
Oh, no, and I've been having troubles putting the breaks in because I told Kelsey I can't get into the Google Drive. I'm a useless tentacled human being. I wish all my tentacles could do something. Okay, so we'll take a quick break. Maybe you'll hear a promo after this, and we'll be right back for my case.
Sup, creeps, and welcome to Creepy Confidential. Is Mothman really a supernatural force predicting impending doom? Did Apollo 11 really land on the moon in 1969? Did you find out if that was a cult that was living just 2 doors down that you waved to every single day when you got your mail? If these are the things you ponder when you should be sleeping, then I would like to welcome you to Creepy Confidential. I'm your host, Noelle, your resident weirdo Wisconsinite. I open case files on my favorite cryptids, cults, conspiracies, and other worldly creepy, with new cases, live broadcasts, and local lore. Some stories have been lost with time. Others are perhaps still happening today in your local communities. right up under your very creepy noses. So get ready, creeps. It's Creepy Confidential.
Well, all our longtime listeners will definitely know that recording a podcast is not always easy.
No.
Nope. So you better believe, like, when we find something we like, that we're going to probably stick to it and not look for anything else. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love Zencaster. When we tried it, we were like, okay, finally, I wanted to have the video, and it's up to 4K video, which is pretty effing cool. I can see every pore on Kelsey. No, I'm just kidding.
I hope not.
But it's great video and like just really easy on this one. So like once we stopped recording on our phones, I was like, yeah, this is the one for us. So even though sometimes our computers fuck up, it always comes through for us in the end, because we've never lost like a recording, knock on wood, and every time we've had to use it, it's just been really great and really easy, and everything's just recorded when we wanted it to, which is, it's a lot to ask for when you podcast as much as we do.
Yeah. It's nice that each of us has our own separate audio recording that you can download and edit. So it makes when one of us is doing something or has something, it's easy. You can edit that out even with the other person was talking, because you have two separate tracks that you can edit. Yeah, it's one of the reasons we love Zencaster. Definitely, it makes it a lot easier. And the audio quality is also a lot better than any of the other programs we tried using in the past.
Yes, it is the best. So go to Zencaster.com/pricing and use my code cryptic, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan.
We want you to have the same easy experience as we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story.
Keep it cryptic. I have some folklore stories for y'all from Nigeria.
Yeah. Wow, I'm excited. I like the stories too. I knew you were doing stories, so I'm like, I'm gonna do a cryptid this time.
I love stories. They're fun to read. Yeah. And just all of the things. I don't know. Although I do love a good cryptid.
Yeah, I was like, it's my turn. I'll do a creature. You do a stories.
So much. I know. We've hardly been to Africa in any of our episodes yet.
No, I don't think so. I would love to go to Africa. Both my grandmother and my aunt at separate times lived in, one of them lived in Kenya and the other one lived somewhere else in Africa. Really? I think about 4 or 5 years each of them at different times. So I have a lot of stuff that's from Africa, like beaded stuff. I have like statues and figurines and like all these kind of things. But I would love to be able to go there one day.
Yeah, no kidding. Then you're like, oh, okay, this is where this came from. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, the thing with me is I'm like, definitely would love to go there. What country? It's like when people are like, I would love to go to Canada. I'm like, which part? It's such a big country. Yeah. And then we like sometimes say Africa like it's one big country. And it's like, it's a big fucking continent. And it's like, where the hell would I want to go? Like, I don't know, Morocco, Egypt, like, I don't know, somewhere in the south, like Tanzania, Kenya, Nairobi, somewhere you can go see like the big 5 animals or whatever. Like, everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, I was like, I love the folk tales. They're so fun. So I think we'll start with the longer one is called The Woman with Two Skins.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're all my Nigerian folktales. So, excuse my poor pronunciation, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah, even the name is like Eyamba, so Ayamba. Ayamba the First of Calabar was a very powerful king. He fought and conquered all the surrounding countries, killing all the old men and women, but the able-bodied men and girls he caught and brought back as slaves, and they worked on the farms until they died.
Okay.
Yeah, I forgot that started out so dark.
I was like, yeah, we're off to a great start.
Slaves everywhere. Okay.
Yeah.
This king had 200 wives, but none of them had borne a son to him.
200?
I think that's a
you
problem, buddy.
If you have sex with 200 women and not a single one of them gets pregnant, you're not using birth control. It's a you problem.
But it's so funny how they always blame women for it when it's literally the guy that has to provide the Y chromosome or whatever. Yeah. You're like, okay, sure. It's my bad. His subjects, seeing that he was becoming an old man, begged him to marry one of the spider's daughters, as they always had plenty of children.
These sisters be fertile.
Yeah. And spiders.
Are they spiders? Like actual spiders?
I don't know.
It's a fairy tale. It's probably both.
Right? You're like, are they just anthropomorphic? Or like that one D&D campaign I watched where the one lady's like this spider woman and her character's name was Lilith, and she's like, oh, I have all these children and I can't keep a man, but yet I picked some bones out of my teeth last night. I wonder what happened to that guy I slept with. And she was like a really funny character. I was just like, you eat all your dates. Okay. As they always had plenty of children. But when the king saw the spider's daughter, he did not like her, as she was ugly, and the people said it was because her mother had had so many children at the same time. Ouch.
Oh. I guess as spiders typically do, right?
I think so.
Like hundreds.
You know, us humans don't have a litter, but yeah. However, in order to please his people, he married the ugly girl and placed her among his other wives.
Married the ugly one.
I know, I'm just like, just try and read it, right? Like, it's so crazy. Yeah, they're mean like that.
Yeah.
But they all complained because she was so ugly and said she could not live with them. The king, therefore, built her a separate house for herself where she was given food and drink the same as the other wives.
Sign me up. I don't want to deal with 200 of your other spouses all the time.
Like, she gets the whole penthouse, guest house to herself?
Yeah!
I mean,
yeah. The other ones probably have to share. You just bought yourself a whole house.
Everyone jeered at her on account of her ugliness, but she was not really ugly, but beautiful, as she was born with 2 skins. And at her birth, her mother was made to promise that she should never remove the ugly skin until a certain time arrived, saved only during the night, and that she must put it on again before dawn.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I'm like, I have to breathe. Yeah, it's like, reminds me of the curse in Shrek or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now the king's head wife knew this. His head wife, mind you. And was very fearful lest the king should find it out and fall in love with the spider's daughter. So she went to a juju man and offered him 200 rods to make a potion that would make the king forget altogether that the spider's daughter was his wife. I know that's already a little confusing. Because the spider's daughter is his wife, I guess. Oh yeah, he begged him to marry one of the spider's daughters, the subject, but she was too ugly. Sorry, this is the long one, so maybe it's a little harder to understand. This the Juju man finally consented to do after much haggling over the price for 350 rods, and he made up some medicine which the head wife mixed with the king's food. For some months, this had the effect of making the king forget the spider's daughter, and he used to pass quite close to her without recognizing her in any way. When 4 months had elapsed, it is weird, had elapsed and the king had not once sent for Adiaha, for that was the name of the spider's daughter, she began to get tired and went back to her parents. Her father, the spider, then took her to another Juju man, who, by making spells and casting lots, very soon discovered that it was the king's head wife who had made the Juju and had enchanted the king so that he would not look at Adiaha. He therefore told the spider that Adiaha should give the king some medicine which he would prepare, which would make the king remember her. He prepared the medicine, for which the spider had to pay a large sum of money, and that very day Adiaha made a small dish of food, into which she had placed the medicine, and presented it to the king. Directly he had eaten the dish, his eyes were opened, and he recognized his wife, and told her to come to him that very evening. So in the afternoon, being very joyful, she went down to the river and washed, and when she returned, she put on her best cloth and went to the king's palace. Directly it was dark and all the lights were out, she pulled off her ugly skin, and the king saw how beautiful she was, and was very pleased with her. But when the cock crowed, Adiaha pulled on her ugly skin again and went back to her own house.
Ha ha.
It's like someone, like, you know how you're like, oh, you go out for the night and you look so cute, and then the next morning you wake up and all your makeup's on there and you get like raccoon eyes.
I'm a swamp monster.
She's like, I got nothing. But then she has to pull on her ugly skin again. This walk of shame. This she did for 4 nights running, always taking the ugly skin off in the dark and leaving before daylight in the morning. In course of time, to the great surprise of all the people, and particularly of the king's 200 wives, she gave birth to a son. But what surprised them most of all was that only one son was born, whereas her mother had always had a great many children at a time, generally about 50.
Oh, okay.
Guess that's that spider aspect.
Yeah.
Good Lord. The king's head wife became more jealous than ever when Adiaha had a son. So she went again to the Juju man, and by giving him a large present, induced him to give her some medicine which would make the king sick and forget his son.
Oh, that's so sad. Why don't you give him a potion that'll fucking make him have a baby with you? Damn it.
I know. They did not understand procreation. I don't know. But they put a lot of pressure on it.
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny, like, listening to some of the podcast episodes of The Constant when they're, like, talking about how people used to try and figure out how, like, we knew that having sex made babies, but they didn't quite understand, like, how much of the guy's sperm was important and how much of the girl's egg was important. They're like, well, even if you didn't have a girl there, you know, like, they said some crazy ideas where they'd be like, 2 sperms make a baby. You know what I mean? Like, we just didn't get it. We're just stupid sometimes. Like, it takes us a long time to figure some things out.
Yeah.
Whether it's like the scientific side of a relationship or the emotional side. That's why we love folklore. Damn it, where was I? Did we say make the king sick and forget his son?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the medicine would then make the king go to the juju man, who would tell him that it was his son who had made him sick, as he wanted to reign instead of his father. The juju man would also tell the king that if he wanted to recover, he must throw his son away into the water.
Ugh, no, leave the kids out of this.
We'll just take your firstborn son, thank you. Love God. And the king, when he had taken the medicine, went to the juju man, who told him everything as had been arranged with the head wife. But at first the king did not want to destroy his son. Then his chief subjects begged him to throw his son away, and said that perhaps in a year's time he might get another son. So the king at last agreed and threw his son into the river, at which the mother grieved and cried bitterly. No fucking shit.
Yeah.
Then the head wife went again to the juju man and got more medicine, which made the king forget Adiaha for 3 years, during which time she was in mourning for her son. She then returned to her father, and he got some more medicine from his juju man, which Adiaha gave to the king. And the king knew her and called her to him again, and she lived with him as before. Now the juju who had helped Adiaha's father, the spider, was a water juju, and he was ready when the king threw his son into the water, and saved his life and took him home and kept him alive. And the boy grew up very strong. I'm like, I understand. I've heard the term juju, but everything else it can be very confusing. You're like, what?
I think I'm following.
Okay, good. I'm not sure I am. After a time, Adiaha gave birth to a daughter, and her, the jealous wife, also persuaded the king to throw away. Ugh. It took a longer time to persuade him, but at last he agreed and threw his daughter into the water too, and forgot Adiaha again. But the water juju was ready again, and when he had saved the little girl, he thought the time had arrived to punish the action of the jealous wife. So he went about amongst the head young men and persuaded them to hold a wrestling match in the marketplace every week. This was done, and the water juju told the king's son, who had become very strong and was very like to his father in appearance, that he should go and wrestle, and that no one would be able to stand up before him. It was then arranged that there should be a grand wrestling match, to which all the strongest men in the country were invited, and the king promised to attend with his head wife. It's going to be a fun title to have, I gotta say. On the day of the match, the water juju told the king's son that he need not be in the least afraid, and that his juju was so powerful that even the strongest and best wrestlers in the country would not be able to stand up against him for even a few minutes. He's gonna Mike Tyson you, bitch! No. But we did explain to Rain what happened there, because there's a D&D character on a YouTube or we watched. He's called Mike Biteya, who's named after Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And Pat was like, did you know that's because he bit off Evander Holyfield's ear? And I was like, I kind of forgot that.
Yeah. Everybody jokes about it. They just make fun of his voice, but like, he crazy.
Yeah. We use humor as such a defense mechanism here.
Yeah,
we
you're
joke
like,
about
did
some weird
you
things.
know, though? Do you remember?
Yeah, I didn't think he bit off his entire fucking ear, but I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was like a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather take on Gordon Ramsay, who's another one in that fake D&D campaign we watched. We're like, these people might have played D&D together, but they don't. It's fun though. Damn it. Okay. All the strongest men came. That's what she said. When they saw the king's son, whom nobody knew, they laughed and said, "Who is this small boy? He can have no chance against us." But when they came to wrestle, they very soon found that they were no match for him. The boy was very strong indeed, beautifully made and good to look upon, and all the people were surprised to see how like he was to the king. After wrestling for the greater part of the day, the king's son was declared the winner, having thrown every one who had stood up against him. In fact, some of his opponents had been badly hurt and had their arms or ribs broken owing to the tremendous strength of the boy. After the match was over, the king presented him with cloth and money and invited him to dine with him in the evening. The boy gladly accepted his father's invitation, and after he had had a good wash in the river, put on his cloth and went up to the palace, where he found the head chiefs of the country and some of the king's most favored wives. Then they sat down to their meal, and the king had his own son, whom he did not know, sitting next to him. On the other side of the boy sat the jealous wife who had been the cause of all the trouble. All through the dinner, this woman did her best to make friends with the boy, with whom she had fallen violently in love on account of his beautiful appearance, his strength, and his being the best wrestler in the country.
Ugh, don't fall in love with your husband's son. The fuck? No.
Just for me, the term "violently in love" made me think of Metallica and their lyrics. That's like, "I'm madly in anger with you" on their Saint Anger album. Was that Gordo?
Yeah. Very annoying.
Gordo, we're almost done, bud. I got like 2 stories, and this is the longest one. The woman thought to herself, "I will have this, oh God, boy as my husband."
No.
It just sounds weird.
I will have my stepson as my husband.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's who she's talking about, right? Yeah, it's not great. As my husband is now an old man and will surely soon die. The boy, however, who was as wise as he was strong, was quite aware of everything the jealous woman had done, and although he pretended to be very flattered at the advances of the king's head wife, he did not respond very readily and went home as soon as he could. When he returned to the water juju's house, he told him everything that had happened, and the water juju said, "As you are now in high favor with the king, you must go to him tomorrow and beg a favor from him. The favor ye will ask is that all the country shall be called together, and that a certain case shall be tried, and that when the case is finished, the man or woman who is found to be in the wrong shall be killed by the egg boss before all the people." I don't know if I'm saying that right. So the following morning, the boy went to the king, who readily granted his request, and at once sent all round the country, Jesus Christ, at once sent all around the country, appointing a day for all the people to come and hear the case tried. Then the boy went back to the water juju, who told him to go to his mother and tell her who he was, and that when the day of the trial arrived, she was to take off her ugly skin and appear in all her beauty, for the time had come when she need no longer wear it. This the son did. They just memorized all these stories. I don't know how.
Yeah, it's like insane.
I know, I forget what I'm talking about because it's not a story I know really well. Yeah. When the day of the trial arrived, Adi Aha sat in the corner of the square, and nobody recognized the beautiful stranger, that's a Padama song, as the spider's daughter. Her son then sat down next to her and brought his sister with him. Immediately his mother saw her, she said, "This must be my daughter, whom I have long mourned as dead," and embraced her most affectionately. The king and his head wife then arrived and sat on their stones in the middle of the square, all the people saluting them with the usual greetings. The king then addressed the people and said that he had called them together to hear a strong palaver at the request of the young man who had been the victor of the wrestling, and who had promised that if the case went against him, he would offer up his life to the Egbo. The king also said that if, on the other hand, the case was decided in the boy's favor, that the other party would be killed, even though it were himself or one of his wives. Whoever it was would have to take his or her place on the killing stone and have their heads cut off by the Egbos. To this, all the people agreed and said they would like to hear what the young man had to say. Okay, because you guys have no stakes in the matter.
Yeah, either way, somebody gonna die in front of you.
Yeah, but not you guys, so you're like, whatever.
Do it!
The young man then walked round the square and bowed to the king and the people and asked the question, "Am I not worthy to be the son of any chief in the country?" And all the people answered, "Yes." The boy then brought his sister out into the middle, leading her by the hand. She was a beautiful girl and well made.
Great.
I don't know. When everyone had looked at her, he said, "Is not my sister worthy to be any chief's daughter?" And the people replied that she was worthy of being anyone's daughter, even the king's. Then he called his mother Adiaha, and she came out looking very beautiful with her best cloth and beads on, and all the people cheered as they had never seen a finer woman. The boy then asked them, "Is this woman worthy of being the king's wife?" And a shout went up from everyone present that she would be a proper wife for the king and looked as if she would be the mother of plenty of fine, healthy sons. Her only worth, as we know.
Yeah.
Then the boy pointed out the jealous woman who was sitting next to the king and told the people his story, how that his mother, who had 2 skins, was the spider's daughter, how she had married the king, and how the head wife was jealous and had made a bad juju for the king, which made him forget his wife, how she had persuaded the king to throw himself and his sister into the river, which, as they all knew, had been done, but the water juju had saved both of them and had brought them up. Then the boy said, "I leave the king and all of you people to judge my case. If I have done wrong, let me be killed on the stone by the Egbos. If, on the other hand, the woman has done evil, then let the Egbos deal with her as you may decide." Sounds like witch trials, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
When the king knew that the wrestler was his son, he was very glad and told the Egbos to take the jealous woman away and punish her in accordance with their laws.
He's like, I got 200 other wives. What do I care about this one?
Hi. The other wife's just like, so nervous. Oh. Yeah, the Egbos decided that the woman was a witch, so they took her into the forest and tied her up to a stake and gave her 200 lashes with a whip made from hippopotamus hide, and then burnt her alive so that she should not make any more trouble, and her ashes were thrown into the river.
Damn, that's hard.
Right?
200 lashes. I think that's the most I've ever heard somebody.
My brain is also unhappy. I'm like, oh, they tried to, have spell hippopotamus on a, as a trivia question the other day when I was listening to something. Anyway, my brain trying to cling to something happy. Okay, so the king then embraced his wife and daughter and told all the people that she, Adiaha, was his proper wife and would be the queen for the future. When the palaver was over, Adiaha was dressed in fine clothes and beads and carried back in state to the palace by the king's servants. That night the king gave a big feast to all his subjects and told them how glad he was to get back his beautiful wife, whom he had never known properly before, also his son, who was stronger than all men, and his fine daughter. The feast continued for 166 days, and the king made a law that if any woman was found out getting medicine against her husband, she should be killed at once. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Why did I pick this one? Then the king built 3 new compounds and placed many slaves in them, both men and women. One compound he gave to his wife, another to his son, and the third he gave to his daughter. They all lived together quite happily for some years until the king died, when his son came to the throne and ruled in his stead. I forgot that got all like colonizer.
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, wait. I have also a short one called Why the Bat Flies at Night, and I think that would be a better maybe one to end it on. And then
okay.
For Patreon, I'll save The Disobedient Daughter Who Married a Skull.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I know, they both sound good, right? Okay. But the first one ended up being long. Shit. Okay, so Why the Bat Flies at Night. A bush rat called Oyot. I don't know.
Is that just what they call bats? A bush rat?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I hoped it meant like prairie dog or something. Because,
okay.
I mean, it does sound like it could be a horrible slang for like a prairie groupie or something, right? A bush rat. Or like, what do they call them? The ones that are interested in the hockey players on like Letterkenny. They're like, oh, it's a puck bunny, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where my mind went. Stupid. A bush rat called Oyot was a great friend of Emiong the bat. They always fed together, but the bat was jealous of the bush rat. When the bat cooked the food, it was always very good, and the bush rat said, "How is it that when you make the soup, it is so tasty?" The bat replied, "I always boil myself in the water, and my flesh is so sweet that the soup is good."
Oh.
This reminds me of the sausage one with the sausage and the bird. I love fucking folktales, man. He then told the bush rat that he would show him how it was done. So he got a pot of warm water, which he told the bush rat was boiling water, and he jumped into it, and very shortly afterwards came out again. When the soup was brought, it was as strong and good as usual, as the bat had prepared it beforehand. He's such a gaslighter.
You're just asking for the other thing to kill you.
Yeah, like what?
To make soup.
I don't understand the purpose. The bush rat then went home and told his wife that he was going to make good soup like the bats. He therefore told her to boil some water, which she did. Then, when his wife was not looking, he jumped into the pot and was very soon dead.
This reminds me, what is it? Disenchantment? Is that the one we watched?
I was gonna say, hopefully not something real, because this is very dark.
No,
yes.
Where it goes, get your me flavored water here. Me flavored water. That dude that's always just like in the fucking barrel with the water.
Me flavored water. Yeah, Rain would probably get there. I've watched that show a couple times because Rain really loves it, and it's like, I get it because it's the Simpsons
like a guy
creators.
There's a guy that like lives in a barrel outside of the bar, and he's like, me flavored water. So I go, no. Yes, and the main character has a little bit of an alcohol problem. Oh, and then there's a little bit of a demon. Oh yeah, it's pretty funny. I like it. Yeah. But yeah, that one was pretty much it. Other than he just dies.
He jumped into the pot. When his wife looked into the pot and saw the dead body of her husband boiling. What is her husband?
Like, don't waste the soup.
Oh, he's a bush rat. Yeah. Bush rat soup. She was very angry and reported the matter to the king, who gave orders that the bat should be made a prisoner. This is so American. Put him in jail! No.
Yeah. You tricked my husband. Now my husband's dead. Put him in
jail. Lock him up. Everyone turned out to catch the bat. But as he expected trouble, he flew away into the bush and hid himself. And all day long, the people tried to catch him, so he had to change his habits and only came out to feed when it was dark. And that is why you never see a bat in the daytime. Because he's running away from his sexual abuse charges. No, I don't know. What did we say? because he's problematic and we're trying to cancel him. Just kidding. I don't even know anymore.
Damn.
That's why I just want, like, even folklore, I'm just like, I just want something that's like, I don't have to think too much into it or like talk about how it needs to be politically correct. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I just want to like read something that's not heavy. So I love folk tales. Yeah. Thank you guys for letting me be lazy and just read some folk tales from worldoftales.com or whatever. Yeah.
No, that was fun.
Okay, good. I love that stuff.
You guys will have to check out our Patreon then for the last story.
Yeah, do you want to know what it's called?
I think you told us.
Oh, yeah, I did. The Disobedient Daughter Who Married a Skull. How punk rock is that?
Yeah, sounds cool.
I know, right? And that's the thing is, like, you can go and look up and there's like, there'll be like a ton of folk tales and they all have really neat names. So you'll be like, oh,
yeah.
Okay, let me read a couple and like maybe pick one. Because sometimes they are really long. I know the first one was really long, and so thank you for sticking through it. But I thought it was a pretty good one. So yeah, I was like, whatever. Anyway, yay. I may have a phone and we have this episode coming out this week. And then I don't know. I'm away when this comes out. So we'll see what we get recorded before the next week, maybe. And check out our Patreon.
Yeah, you guys can follow up. Yeah, we don't know for sure if we'll have an episode. We'll try, but we won't force ourselves because we won't be able to record.
Yeah, because this one comes out on the 2nd. Yeah, I'll just be away visiting my family on the East Coast, so we might not get to record until the week after. But
yeah,
our Patreon will be coming out.
Yeah,
at some
there's
point.
Plenty of episodes there to catch up on if you're not all caught up, or if you're already all caught up with all of our regular episodes. You can head over to Patreon and catch up on those.
No, there's some really fun ones over there, so yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. And if not, we will see you next week, so keep it cryptic.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Castles and Cryptids. We love all our listeners and appreciate every subscriber, every new review, every listen, rate, and download. Our music is by Kobe Off Air, and our cover art is by Antonio Garcia. We are also a proud member of Darkcast Network, where you can find the best and spookiest of all indie podcasts. Follow us on social media, where we are at Castles and Cryptids on mostly all of the things, now including TikTok. Check out our bonus content on Patreon, cryptid clashes, video minisodes of your hosts making asses of themselves, Ask Me Anything, quizzes, other special episodes, and more. Starting at just $2 a month, you can get 1 to 2 extra episodes, depending on your level. We produce, edit, and research everything ourselves, and any support you can lend helps us to keep it cryptic.